Okay guys, we're back with the Promax 200s. This is our first cut. I didn't show you the valves last time. I have no idea who the manufacturer of the valves are. Let's see if we can get some numbers off of them. Okay, exhaust is not bad looking. It's neck down. It's got a decent margin. It's got a different color at the stem. I believe that's due to different heat treatment, or they treat the stem different for wear than where the guide rides. A valve expert could let us know. I'm going to see if I can get this in focus. I don't know if you guys can read that, but that's what I think it says. PMX 70832. If you guys could give me any info on these valves, that'd be great. The James wants to run these 7,000 RPM 408. They did come assembled. The valve springs that they came with were only 115 pounders. They're hydraulic flat tappet. That ain't going to cut it. And it's all 7-degree locks and stuff. We're going to have to upgrade a bunch of that stuff. And 3/8 studs. Okay, the intakes don't look bad. They have a relatively rough swirl polish, which I'm not opposed to. It's got a pretty wide back cut. Not bad. Neck down. Same thing with this stem. I don't know if we can get that in focus, guys. Okay, I think that's what it says. PMX 70831. So one's an 832, one's an 831 FR. I don't know the manufacturer. The margin is definitely narrower than a Ferrea. It's a lighter valve than a Ferrea, I would think. It's got decent shape. About 11 or 12 degree, I would say. And the exhaust is nailhead design. Alright. So what we wound up doing was, these basically got a good cleanup. So I did some work on the chamber, taking out the lumps and bumps and ridges. You would think that makes a huge difference. Not necessarily. Pretty cool strobe light effect. I'm not really sure where that's from. That is coming from... Okay, that one doesn't do it. Let's see if we can get that in focus for you guys. Alright, it's been cleaned up. And it's got a very rough surface on it. I had to take that coating off. Seems that coating is because these were set up as marine heads. And I did make the pinch a little bigger, not a huge amount. You can see the floor was like clean the black off of it, basically. Took some of the bolt boss off of between the two cylinders, the cylinder divider, because they got a good bolt boss there. We don't need that. We need the area there because we have high speed air on that side. You can see how the roof is deeper on the right than the left. Okay, left is your center of cylinder. Okay, the bowl got a clean up. And yeah, I used a rough texture. Notice I forgot to run the Dicom. I forgot to run the Dicom on the completely stocker too. I hate being in a rush for jobs. It's not my style, but I gotta kind of bang these out. If you guys remind me, I'll do a completely stock port, and I have to fix the swirl meter. I forgot to fix the swirl meter too, and I can give you guys a better report of before and after. But as far as the cleanup, the short side really wasn't touched because it was already done. And the short side is a tad wider than it was. Not much. Okay, you should be able to see where I hit that with the burr. Yeah, I probably should have went over and sand rolled that. I'm leaving it rough. May not have helped, but that's okay. It's first cut to see where our air speeds and stuff change and if we get any more flow out of it. Okay, we had a little more success on the exhaust. You can see I did my radius. It's all pretty rough textured burr. So we know we can get some more out of that if we smooth it out a little bit. It's an exhaust. You can have it smooth. But as far as to the touch, it's not bad. I think I used my high helix in that. So that's really fairly smooth to the touch. In any case, we got a decent pickup on the exhaust. Not that much of a pickup on the intake, where if you saw how deep the grooves were around the intake, it really, you would have thought it would have picked up a lot. It didn't. Okay, you can see the roof basically cleaned up. That's about it. In reality, this exhaust port is cleaned up and has a radius put on it. That's about it. Okay, you can see the short side. I just shaped it a little bit, left it rough, and sent it. See what we get. Okay, guys, this was stock. This is first cut. Okay, you would think it would have huge gains, right? Not necessarily. Up a little, up a little, up a little. Got a decent gain at 0.25. We went from 202.2 at 3 to 207. 207 is a decent number. I'm not opposed to that. It is a 202 valve. It's a little over a 200 cc port at this point. Not bad. But right around 500, we already have noise. So we're having a problem on the short side at that point. So yeah, we got a little more, but we lost it on the short side. This didn't lose it on the short side at all. And it kept going and flowed actually better. Right, we got a plus, we got a minus, we got a minus, we got a plus. And I figured it was the short side. I put a flow ball on the short side, and we go to 286. So I know I have high-speed air problems on the short side. That's okay. We can work on that. I don't have any swirl numbers. I forgot to work on the swirl meter for you guys. Sorry. All right, we're going to take a look at 0.6 inch. So we got 282.3 on the stocker, and we got 279.2 on the first cut. So we are flowing a little bit less air at this point. How did we do as far as our numbers? Here we got a plus, a minus plus, much more even, but it's also a little bit bigger pinch, and it's flowing a little bit less air. Okay, we had a big speed discrepancy there. A little better on the speed discrepancy. No, I'm actually wrong. It's worse, because even though I wound up giving it more area on the cylinder wall side, looks like that's where the air wants to go. Interesting, right, guys? Okay. This center cylinder went up a little bit, not much. Okay, and our short side, I said I wasn't thrilled about this difference here. Did it get any better? A little, not much. Okay, we got minus, 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 which is kind of interesting because we know it was making noise and it was flowing less. I was expecting these to be higher than the stockers. So we got a little work to do on that. I'm going to try to not do a bunch of cuts on these because I just don't have the time to invest in it. I'm thinking of taking these air speeds and moving them around a little bit. I do have to get more air out of it than 282. We'll see what we can do. Okay, we had much better success cleaning up the exhaust. We do have some noise, right? We had noise here, right, at 0.1, 0.5. We had a little noise. That disappeared, but it showed back up a little further down at 0.2, 0.25. But we got big gains. I mean, you got 20 CFM more, okay, with a little bit of noise. Overall, we did pretty good, okay. You got nice gains everywhere. This was 205.1 with a pipe. This is 226. So we got 20 extra CFM with a pipe. Now, let's see if our speeds are any better, because our air speeds on the stocker were pretty good. Okay, always interesting doing this and seeing what you get. Now, this was at 600, so that one was flowing 181.2, and this one's flowing 198.4. So you would expect the speeds to be faster everywhere. Definitely is not the case. We got a minus, plus, plus. Okay, this corner is a little better. We got a minus here. We got a plus in the center. Went up a little bit. Actually went from 283 to 304. That got a nice jump there. Okay. Died center of the cylinder on the floor. And down a touch in this corner. Down a touch there. Down a touch there. This was a little fast anyway. So losing a little bit of speed here doesn't really hurt my feelings much. How are we side to side? Very even across the top. The center is very good. Looking 300, 304, 310. And except for our dead spot, overall though, we're moving a lot more air, so I'm going to take it as a win. Now that is with a very rough textured port. In reality, I probably could go over that with a much finer burr and pick up a few. I may do that instead of making it a lot bigger. I don't think we need it a lot bigger. It is going to be on a 408 with a good sized pair of headers. You know, we're already at 226. We're not bad. In fact, our intake to exhaust ratio, I know that a lot of guys love that. We need to do work. We need to work on the intake a lot more than the exhaust at this point. If you pay attention to intake exhaust ratio stuff, I'm not thrilled with it. I do look at it when I have to pick a cam. But in any case, they look pretty good considering what they are. Yeah, I haven't done my usual finessing, but I wanted to grind this out. And just this one port intake and exhaust and chamber, it took quite a bit of time, almost 3 hours worth, which is just ridiculous. It really shouldn't take that long. But I got to work on getting stuff like that done a little faster. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.